The job of a working ranch horse is demanding. The day may start by combing 1,000 acres of mesquite in search of stragglers from the herd. By afternoon, it could change to the responsibility of getting calves to the fire. And the day might end with some recreational roping. And tomorrow, who knows what the job will bring. With all this in mind, the American Quarter Horse Association has designed a competition just for the ranch horse. The inaugural Versatility Ranch Horse Competition was held at the Fort Worth Stock Show. It was a big success.
They put on a quality event, had some wonderful horses here, some good competition, and went down to the end as to who was going to win, and then that's what makes a good competition.
5 events, all challenging. May the best horse win, next on GMC, America's Horse. GMC America's Horse, the international report on the world's most versatile equine breed, the American Quarter Horse. Welcome to GMC America's Horse. The American Quarter Horse is known for its versatility, and the AQHA is an association that has something for everyone. In its most recent endeavor, the AQHA has invited the ranch horse into the show arena. The new Versatility Ranch Horse class may be the most unique competition AQHA has ever offered. Specialized, diversified, those are common terms around the American quarter horse industry today. When you attend the AQHA World Championship Show, or any AQHA approved show for that matter, and watch cutting, reining, or even the trail competition, you're watching horses that are specialists in those events. So what about the ranch horse? Every day he goes about doing a lot of things you'll see at a big weekend horse show, but the big difference is, on the ranch, he's not being judged. Well, at least not for monetary rewards or AQHA points. But there is a cowboy on his back watching his every move. To get the modern ranch cowboy or cowgirl and their horse more involved in competition, AQHA created the Versatility Ranch Horse class.
Just bring them on down, ranch horse exhibitors, just bring them on down and bring them into the pen and a wall.
It's divided into 5 very distinct individual competitions. The first is trail. But this is a tough course, designed to test a horse mentally and physically. The horse has probably seen it all before, but the big difference is this is not the Great Wide Open. This is a more confining arena. Next is cutting. But there is a twist. The rider not only separates the cow from the herd, demonstrating the horse's natural cutting ability, but then the cow has to be driven to the other end of the arena and pinned. Next is riding, or a rail class. The horse's natural gait is key here, and the rider's ability to show a horse well also comes in handy. The working class is just that, work. It starts with a reining pattern that's left up totally to the rider's discretion. A specific number of maneuvers like spins, lead changes, and sliding stops are required. Then it shifts to a working cow horse type format, where a cow has to be boxed on one end and then turned down the fence in each direction. It finishes with steer stopping. The rider is only allowed 2 loops. That's the 3 phases of the working class. The final obstacle for the Versatility Ranch Horse is conformation, a halter type competition, a sort of beauty contest for the horse. All 5 events are straight off the ranch, and the top 9 finishers in each class earn credits. Finishing first is worth 9 credits, and so on down the line to the 9th place finisher, who earns just a single credit. The most credits after the 5 classes is the winner. And it's fitting AQHA used the Fort Worth Stock Show as the launching pad for their new class. There's some history here.
This is a really significant competition because it really goes to the roots of what the quarter horse is best at and best for. It's a real honor that Fort Worth's got to host the inaugural competition. But of course, we hosted the inaugural competition of the entire AQHA in 1941. So it's a partnership that's worked very well for both the AQHA and the stock show all these years.
The road to victory in the first AQHA Versatile Ranch Horse competition will have plenty of obstacles. The trail competition kicks things off when we come back.
We're all the time roping something, dragging calves to the fire, things like that, and it was just another day at work for him.
Every time a local business opens its doors, or creates another laptop bag, or hires another employee, it's not just good for business, it's good for the entire community. At Bank of America, we know the impact that local businesses have on communities. That's why we extended $6.4 billion in new credit to small businesses across the country last year. Because the more we help them, the more we help make opportunity possible.
Welcome back to GMC America's Horse. The next time you're on a trail ride, pay attention to the obstacles on the trail. Maybe it's crossing a creek bed, stepping over some down limbs, or even opening and closing a gate several times from horseback. Now imagine doing all that and having a judge watch your every move. That gives you a little bit of insight into the mindset of these exhibitors as they gear up for the first phase of our competition, the trail. This course was not designed to be easy. You can look at a trail course beforehand and get a pretty good idea of where the trouble spots are located.
My toughest part was she was not used to being in an arena like this. It's totally closed in, a little different atmosphere than being outdoors. The stationary steer gave her a little bit of a startle. She wasn't used to seeing something bright green staring at her when she made it into a loop, but it was okay.
Our logs at home may be cedar branches or, brush we cross, but they got to learn to step over it, or cactus or anything. They got to learn to step over it. You always got to drag something out of your way, that dragging that log. No telling how many gates a feller opens in a day, but it's plenty, so it's a lot of it. Sure enough, you do at home.
The best in the class was Joe Don Hancock. Kevin Gursky is the owner and the rider. Gursky is from Jacksboro, Texas. And while others may have struggled with the course just a bit, these two took care of business just the way the winner of a class should.
A lot of people had a lot of trouble with the bridge, but I didn't see any trouble with the bridge myself. He trotted right up to it and hopped over it like it was part of what was supposed to be there, So I really didn't find anything hard about it. The log was kind of heavy. Heavier than what probably a calf, that you'd be dragging for that distance would be, and then trying to make a maneuver with it. But my horse didn't have any trouble with it, and I didn't see very many horses that did have trouble with it. So not a whole lot was a problem in the course that I could tell.
As for Gursky, he's a cowboy. Nothing more, nothing less.
Well, I'm 30 years old, been punching cattle. Well, that's the only job I've ever had was punching cattle. And I run a little ranch down in Irene, Texas, about 40 sections, and I've got a kind of a headquarters in Jacksboro, Texas, where I run some mares. And, that's about all about me I can think of.
Joe Don Hancock and Kevin Gursky win the class and the 9 credits that go with it. They're the leaders after the first event. Wes O'Neill rides for the historic W.T. Wagner estate, and Joe Walter is riding a Burnett Ranch's mare. They were second and third in the class. The next step is cutting. This is actually a combination of cutting and team pinning. Here's how the judge, Sam Rose, sees this part of the competition.
Well, the horse still has to cut the cow, and he needs to go stop the cow in front of the herd. And they have to show that they can run and stop. Different than the NCHA, you can handle, use your reins on these horses, and plus they have a rule, the cone that's in the middle of the pen, the cow has to go on one side of it to go put it in the pen. And, it's basically it's just a ranch horse type show, you know, what it used to be back in early times before you and I.
The example there for Sam Rose while he was explaining the structure of the cutting portion of this class was Little Playgun and Joe Walter. They earned 8 credits with a second place finish.
You know, I think I did everything. I think she did everything she could with it, and then it felt good going to the pen, you know. It let me direct it, and it was good.
The winner was Tom Morehouse and Warika 7S Shining Gold. The judge is also looking for a degree of difficulty here, and after a clean cut and what looked to be a quick pin for Morehouse, he soon got more than he'd bargained for. Morehouse found himself in a battle where he was quickly losing ground.
I could see the cow would just push me back to the herd. I just about decided that I wasn't going to get her pinned. But I thought, well, I'm not going to quit till the buzzer goes off. And so I just, when I came out of the herd the second time, she got on the wall, and I put a little pressure on her, and she went right on down there. The horse did it. But anyway, if I hadn't been on a good horse, I'd have lost her, but I didn't.
Here's the top 5 in cutting. Morehouse fought Warika 7S Shining Gold from a Stewart Ranch sale in Oklahoma. The Stewart Ranch is a past winner of the AQHA Best Bermuda Award. Borrego's double also picked up big credits with a 3rd place finish. So after 2 events, Joe Walter and Wes O'Neill are tied for the lead with 15 credits. And there's a 3-way tie for 3rd place with 3 events still to come. Coverage of the Versatility Ranch Horse Competition from Fort Worth continues on OLN in just a moment.
Let's face it, you don't think a lot about your trailer hitch. You use it and forget it. We understand. But at B&W, we think about it. Short nights, the long hauls, the never-ending chores, the unthinkable. We think about it all, so you don't have to. B&W. Trusted.
Welcome back to GMC America's Horse. The job description for a ranch horse these days is a long, long list. He has to be able to cut, rein, be a pleasure to ride. He has to be quick and yet be a big stopper. In this next phase of Versatility Ranch Horse Competition, the focus is on the ride. Watch out, we've got cowboys on the rail.
Well, they have to walk, trot, lope, extend a trot, extend a lope. You know, they're, as we saw today, they're moving on more. You know, you're looking for a horse that can cover some ground outside and in the pasture doing your daily duties at the ranch. So it's altogether different than what you'd see at the regular horse show, which I think is good in some respects.
Most of these cowboys concede they have never shown a horse on the rail before. Consistency once again rode along with Little Playgun and Joe Walter. They finished second here, notching another 8 credits and took the overall lead. Walter admits he was a little bit out of his element.
I don't know anything about rail. You know, I trot from the barn to the corrals, out across the pasture. When I was a kid, I showed some pleasure horses, very little. But I just tried not to get in her way, tried not to run over anybody.
The winner was George Self and Ima Eddie Hancock, a gelding owned by the R.A. Brown Ranch, another past winner of the AQHA Best Bermuda Award.
Smooth moving horse, just sloped with his head down, real collected and real nice. Got a great trot and a wonderful lope and walks along just like, you know, you like for him to.
Self and Ima Eddie Hancock have also been very consistent, placing in all 3 phases of the competition so far. Here are the results from the riding class. Wes O'Neill and Borrego's double finished 3rd, so they don't lose much ground. Mark Voss and Kevin Gursky both pick up big credits to keep their hopes alive. In the overall totals, Little Playgun has opened up a 1-credit lead on Borrego's double. The pressure now is on the rest of the top 5 to try and win, or at least place in the top 2 in the next event, just to stay within striking distance of the leaders. While the riding class was low-key, things were about to heat up. The toughest test in the entire competition is the working class. This class is divided into 3 phases of competition. It starts with reining. The riders aren't held to any specific pattern, but they are required to complete maneuvers like spins, lead changes, circles, and sliding stops. Then comes the cow. Like working cow horse, the cow is boxed at one end and then turned in each direction on the fence. And finally, the rider is required to rope the steer and bring him to a stop. It's all done without leaving the arena, and there is a time limit. Joe Walter and Little Playgun had a solid game plan. Their reining was well orchestrated and smooth. It's interesting. This mare was bred to cut, but in the reining pen, she has all the right moves.
She's a 5-year-old mare. She's by Little Playgun. No, I'm sorry, she's by Playgun out of a Little Peppy mare of the 4/6s. I started her as a 2-year-old. Showed her at some cutting horse events, won a little money. And these events here came along and I thought it just fit her pretty good.
When Walter's cow was turned out, you could tell he had a live one. It hit the arena with purpose.
Yeah, it did. I'm learning all this, you know. I haven't shown that much, and it's a good learning experience for me, and I just hope to get better, you know. It felt all right. I knew I had to kind of take a hold of things, and I think I did the best I could, but who knows, you know. I'm just going to try to get better.
Walter had no trouble with the rope, and when the working part of the competition was finished, Little Playgun had one to go, and Walter was now within striking distance of winning it all. Sir 74 and Mark Voss are the only other contenders that managed to finish in the top 5. Wes O'Neill and Brago's double, who had been in second place, finished back in 7th, so they lost some serious ground. So Little Playgun and Joe Walter jump out to a 6-credit lead with just one phase of the competition left. In the first 4 classes of competition, they've been a picture of consistency, with a 3rd, 2 seconds, and a 1st. And now with just confirmation remaining, the first Versatility Ranch Horse competition may be all sewn up. We'll be right back.
Each year, an average horse will need one place has it all. Tractor Supply.
With just one phase of the Versatility Ranch Horse class left, Joe Walter and his gray mare Little Playgun have a pretty comfortable lead. But these ranch hands are diving back into uncharted territory. With their horses unsaddled, they're going back into the arena. The final part of the competition is confirmation. It's like a halter class, but once again, what the judge is looking for here is different from what wins at other AQHA shows.
You have to have a horse with some withers. You know, he has to have a good back. I think a horse needs to be up good, needs to have a strong hindquarters gaskin, but his front end doesn't need to be as big as what we're used to looking at, you know, because they can't travel all day outside riding, using them on the ranch and hold up.
The confirmation class is divided by sexes: mares, geldings, and stallions. Each sex is placed, and the 3 winners are brought in to decide the grand champion. The top mare was Little Playgun, just what Joe Walter needed. The top gelding was Sir 74 and Mark Voss. And the top stallion was CLW Don't Skip Sunny, shown by Coy Walton. The overall grand champion was Sir 74. Little Playgun earned 3 credits in confirmation, and that is all she needed. This class was a mixed blessing for Walter.
I think she's a good-looking mare. I don't know much about showing a halter horse. You know, I probably need to get lessons from lots of people on that. But she stands well and everything. Yeah, it was the most relaxing because the rest of it was over.
Here are the final standings. Walter and Little Playgun picked up credits in all 5 events and finished with a total of 35. The closest to Little Playgun was Borrego's double and Wes O'Neill. They were in second place with 29 credits. Sir 74 had a second and a first in the last 2 classes to jump into third place, and I'm Eddie Hancock and Joe Don Hancock round out the top 5. The award celebration was quite a party. J.D. Blondin, president of the AQHA, and Ed Bass, chairman of the board for the Southwestern Exposition and Livestock Show, were joined by Lisa Perry to unveil her new bronze, which is quite a prize for the year-end High Point winner in the Versatility Ranch Horse class. By the way, the Fort Worth Stock Show sponsors the year-end High Point Award. And the winner of this inaugural competition, Little Playgun and Joe Walter, the mare even made an appearance at the party. With the first Versatility class complete, the reviews are in, and they are all good.
I think today was a huge success. I think it demonstrated what it's all about. I mean, the versatility of the horse. You and I have had this discussion in the past, and it's been an ambition of mine to see something like this come about.
You know it went well when it lives up to the expectations of the AQHA president.
Oh, better. They put on a quality event, had some wonderful horses here, some good competition, and went down to the end as to who was going to win, and then that's what makes a good competition.
Interest in the Versatility Ranch Horse class is now starting to spread like wildfire. There are already more than 50 planned for 2002, and that number could grow. This class looks to be very popular this year and in the years to come. And we'll have more Versatility Ranch Horse competition later this year on GMC America's Horse. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week on GMC America's Horse.